Oh, I forgot to turn my phone off. Um, I had to apologize first because I was just out of a plane from Rio. I'm still under a very powerful sleeping drug. But on my way here, I was thinking, how do I get here? I was born in Brazil. I wasn't exposed to any sort of formal arts education, and I lived until I was 21 in a very poor neighborhood of São Paulo. But it was awkward. It's always awkward for me to be talking to a large audience or a specialized audience like yourselves. It's not because I feel different. It's because after 20 years, I feel just like one of you. Especially I speak your language. I talk art. I know who the people are. I know who the good fairs are. I know where to go for a good drink and talk to people of my kind. But I have to say, although I feel very comfortable talking to you, I do not make art for you, especially. For 20 years, I've been priding myself of creating a brand of art that's actually accessible to everyone, from old to young, that would actually add something to the lives of a curator to a museum guard. I've been doing this for 20 years, but still, every time I do an opening, I just see you. Where are the other people? I try to look for them. I doubled as a teacher, a writer, a curator, a magazine editor, a board member of Creative Time. Lots of things I did, trying to expand a little bit my public outside the public that actually rummage around Chelsea for art. And I realized that while I was doing that, I was just trying to do something else to avoid the didactic and the preachy elements from coming into my work. Because if I did, I would start making a work that's segmented, and it wouldn't be possible for me to talk to everyone at once. In Brazil, I've done work with 2 schools, and I'm still not happy. Only recently, about 3 years ago, I found out a formula of inclusion that actually came it was very interesting how it did happen. I was trying to work with garbage before, but at the time, they had people with machine guns guarding the garbage in Rio. They put all the drugs and the weapons under the garbage. So I thought, maybe I work somewhere else. And recently, they organized the garbage dump a little bit, and I went there again to thinking about the material. But then I started seeing a whole group of people there. I'm going to jump this, I'm sorry. That live, work, eat, and dwell in the largest garbage dump in Latin America called Jardim Gramacho. I asked to take pictures of them because their presence there, look like ants. There are 5,000 of them. They're allowed to actually live from recycling resources. And I started photographing them, and immediately the theme of work came. And when did work enter the history of representation? When slavery was abolished. When we didn't have other people to do our work, we started saying work was good. So I started to intuitively borrow from their aesthetics and photograph them. I tried to make them look as good as possible, and borrowing from themes of Russian Revolution or even like 19th century French. And they worked with me. They really enjoyed it, and I presented them, I talked to them about it, and once they were happy with the photographs and they were part of the editing process, I invited them to come to my studio, and I invited them to come and work on their own portraits in a studio that's a little larger than the room that we are in right now. And, oh, God. And what we did, they worked on their own project, on their own. These are people who are only used to see themselves on a cell phone format. They see themselves dismal, and then they see themselves in a 30 meters long. The impact on 7 people changed the entire course of their lives, and it proved to me that art can do change people, and it changed me. I'm going to just put a little. This is not. I didn't make the film, so part of what's written there was my idea. But this is a little sample of what we did there. working with garbage, but you're also working with a type of individuals that are in the face of Brazilian society, not different than garbage itself. And this is, I think, is the most poisonous thing about Brazilian culture and society is classism. You know, and it's horrible how people really believe, and I'm talking about educated people, they really believe they're better than other people. Tião is a community leader. He organized the library of Gramacho. By books, they're fine. He reads Maquiavel, Nietzsche.
Caraca, maluco, tá eu igualzinho.
If you could, for 1 second, bring the idea of art into the life of these people who is so intensely about survival, it wouldn't just be an experience in how art could change people, but also, can it change people? Can this be done?
Lot number 272, the great work by Vik Muniz, Marat, Sebastião, Pictures of Garbage. We will start this at £10,000. £10,000 this lot, 10,000. £12,000 with Walk Campo, 14,000 now, 14,000, 16,000, 18,000, 20,000 and the far back now, 22,000 with new bidder, 25,000, 28,000, at 28,000, it's against you, Diego now, at £28,000 then, last chance then at £28,000, all done, sold, I can sell it for £100,000, I can sell it for £100,000, I can sell it.
This is something else, I won't have time to talk about it. But you know, what I learned from working with these people in the last 3 years, it would never pay the kind of help that I've done, the involvement that I did, what my involvement with their cooperative, you know, brought to them. For one thing, I learned that these people can identify 13 types of plastic in the dark just by touching it. They're extremely sophisticated, they're wonderful people, and it's wonderful to imagine that when we throw something in the garbage, we think that it just disappears in a little point, but the cone inverts, and you're dealing with people who are on the other side of consumer society, when you know everything that we take for granted for them is very valuable. And they taught me more than I could teach them. And this is the kind of project that I want to be involved more and more from now on. Thanks.